Alex Pereira becoming the UFC middleweight champion was absolutely perfect for the UFC. It was absolutely perfect for Alex Pereira. Even though it might sound stupid to say, it was perfect for Israel Adesanya. It was perfect for Jared Cannonier. It was perfect for Sean Strickland. Every single fighter in the UFC's middleweight division, top 15, Alex Pereira winning that fight and coming back in round number 5 was absolutely perfect. The best case scenario that could have happened there. I mean, if it was a draw, that would have been horrible. If it was a win for Israel Adesanya, that would have been pretty bad for a lot of the fighters in that top 15 of the middleweight division. But now that Alex Pereira has gone up there and beaten Israel Adesanya, it was good for every single man in that top 10, top 15 of the middleweight division, and here is why. Alex Pereira just dethroned the man who has beaten everybody in the top 10. Literally not a single guy in the top 10, except for like the guys that just now, like weeks ago, like less than a month ago, got into the top 10. He has beaten everyone, or he has beaten someone that has beaten them. Let me show you. Robert Whittaker, Adesanya knocked him out in the first fight, I believe in round number 2. No fan is out here, I mean, hardcore fans like me, other hardcores that saw how close and how technical and how good of a fight Robert Whittaker versus Israel Adesanya was, they want to see a trilogy. I'm really looking forward to Adesanya Whittaker 3. I think that's an amazing fight. But more casual fans, none of those casuals are tuning into a third Adesanya versus Whittaker. It's going to be the same thing, another boring fight. We've already seen Adesanya win twice, so why would we want to see it again? It's like one of those Usman versus Covington. Yes, I would love to see Usman Covington 3, but Usman has already beaten Covington twice in the UFC's welterweight division. It's the same scenario. Literally the exact same scenarios happen in both welterweight and middleweight. You go down below that, Jared Cannonier. Adesanya has already beaten Jared Cannonier. Jared just beats Sean Strickland in his last fight. But do we want to see Jared versus Adesanya again? No. Nobody wants to see Jared Cannonier versus Israel Adesanya for the belt again. A main event of a pay-per-view. Nobody wants to see that. And he's like the number 3 contender. Marvin Vettori, we've already seen that twice. Adesanya beat him by decision twice. Neither of those two fights were outstanding, amazing, banger fights that any of us have seen. So again, nobody really wanted to see Vettori versus Adesanya for a third time, even if he did go out there and beat Whittaker. Derek Brunson, Adesanya has already beaten him, then he lost to Jared Cannonier. There's really no need to do a Derek Brunson fight. Paulo Costa, he just lost in his last fight pretty dominantly to Marvin Vettori, and then he beat Luke Rockhold after that. Luke Rockhold, where is Luke Rockhold on the rankings? Nowhere. It's Luke Rockhold. That's not going to do anything. I don't care if you beat Luke Rockhold. You do not deserve a title shot. Now, you're not accepting a Robert Whittaker fight. So even if Adesanya had beaten Alex Pereira at this point, none of the casuals wanted a Robert Whittaker fight. Nobody wanted a Jared Cannonier fight. Nobody wanted a Marvin Vettori fight. Derek Brunson didn't even deserve it at that point because he's coming off a loss in his last fight to Jared Cannonier. Paulo Costa, maybe some people would have wanted him because he's building a good reputation. A lot of people are becoming fans of Paulo for his Twitter use and things like that. They'd be like, oh, he just beat a former champion and Luke Rockhold. He deserves a title shot. But no, that would have not been good for Paulo to get a title shot after beating Luke Rockhold. No. Sean Strickland lost to Alex Pereira. So if Adesanya had beaten Alex Pereira and Sean Strickland somehow was just sitting there, they probably would have said Sean Strickland's probably going to be next. Nobody wants to see Sean Strickland versus Israel Adesanya. If he lost to the guy Adesanya would have just beaten. And now he lost to another guy that Adesanya has just beaten in Jared Cannonier. Go below that. At the time, Roman Dolidze was nowhere near this point in the ring. He was like number 20 in the UFC middleweight division. But his only win in the top 15 is Jack Hermansson. That is it. Jack Hermansson, a man that has lost to Marvin Vettori, who has lost to Jared Cannonier, and would probably lose to like Whitaker, to Alex Pereira, every single one of them. Dolidze is really not a fight right now. He's not really deserving. But again, if Adesanya would have won that fight against Alex Pereira, the only logical fight to make would literally be Roman Dolidze. That would be it. Now he's fighting Marvin Vettori, I know, at UFC 285. But if he had beaten Alex Pereira and Roman had gone out there and beaten Jack Hermansson like he did, they probably would have gave Roman Dolidze the fight. Hermansson's coming off a loss, so no. The only two guys they could put for Israel Adesanya would be Roman Dolidze and Dricul du Plessis. That is it. And who in the world, what casual fan is out there looking at a main event of a pay-per-view, the champion of the world versus the number 8 contender? The number 8 contender. You look at that in any other division. That's like Davison Figueiredo fighting Matt Schnell for the belt. Sterling fighting Yadong Song for the belt. Volkanovski fighting Giga Chikadze for the belt. Islam fighting Rafael dos Anjos. Sean Brady versus Leon Edwards. Alexander Volkov versus Francis Ngannou. I mean, these fights are just like, you can see the champion just so thoroughly dominating in every single one of these matchups. That would be the exact same thing for like a Roman Dolidze fight. What in the world is Roman Dolidze going to do to Israel Adesanya? So the fact that Alex Pereira won means that we're not going to have to get Adesanya to go all the way down to number 8, number 10, number 11, number 12, where all the up-and-comers are. Imavov, Muniz, du Plessis, Dolidze, Chris Curtis, all of these up-and-comers are ranked lower than number 8 in the world. So, and that would not be good for pay-per-view numbers to have a dominant champion versus the damn number 8 contender in that division. Nobody wanted a Cannonier rematch. Nobody wanted Vettori. Nobody wanted Brunson. Some people might have wanted Costa, but I mean, kind of dominated him in the first fight, and he lost to Marvin Vettori like less than a year ago. Strickland just lost to Alex Pereira. What was the UFC gonna do at that point? A number 8 contender, or they just do a trilogy in a fight that Adesanya has already won twice. In Cannonier, in Whitaker, in Derek Brunson, in Vettori, so on and so forth. The fact that Alex Pereira went out there and won means that we're probably going to get an Adesanya versus Pereira fight again. But if Pereira wins, wow, we have some fresh matchups. We got Whitaker versus Pereira. We got a good kickboxing battle with Jared Cannonier and Alex Pereira. We got, I don't know, another fight with Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira. I mean, there's so many more exciting things that can happen with Pereira as a champion than having Adesanya as a champion when he's already beaten pretty much everyone there is in the middleweight division. And now they'll do the rematch, Adesanya versus Pereira. They'll probably do Whitaker Cannonier rematch. And no matter what happens with Pereira and Adesanya, now people know Adesanya can get knocked out. Now, when Robert Whitaker tries to do the third fight with Israel Adesanya, if he's able to beat Alex Pereira, there's going to be a lot more buzz around the fight because they know Adesanya just had a really close fight back and forth with Alex Pereira. It was actually a really exciting fight. Whitaker just had a good fight with Jared Cannonier. There's more excitement, there's more build-up, there's more finishes, there's more up and downs and crazy comebacks and things like that in the middleweight division. Pereira winning was such a good thing. It was so perfect for everyone in that middleweight division that, wow, I mean, it was amazing. It was the best thing that could have happened there. The absolute best thing that could have happened there. Because in hindsight, I mean, a lot of people were saying, oh, Israel's just going to outpoint him on the feet, maybe take him down and win a boring decision. It wasn't boring. It was a banger of a fight for the full 5 rounds. And that puts another thing in the minds is that Adesanya had a good fight with Alex Pereira. It wasn't a boring fight, which means the next fight that he's going to have with Alex Pereira, if Adesanya fights Whitaker again, if he fights Cannonier, Vettori, Brunson, Paulo Costa again, they're not going to be remembering the Adesanya versus Yoel Romero, the Adesanya versus Marvin Vettori. They're going to remember the banger that was Alex Pereira, Israel Adesanya. It kind of boosted Israel Adesanya a little bit. Even though he lost, it still boosted him because he had a banger of a fight, not the Cannonier frozen like Osa. So it was a very good thing in my opinion. But what do y'all think about that? Was it a perfect thing, perfect best case scenario that Alex Pereira won for the UFC? And who do y'all think wins? Even after Pereira's beaten Adesanya 3 times in a row, who wins the 4th encounter? Adesanya or Alex Pereira?